the premise of all of this is that the human is built for so much more than you think. And that the dimensionality that you believe is real, that which you consider all there is a fraction of actually what there is. The premise is that carefully in this new time and the new energy, that you could walk between worlds, literally, and walk into that place which you were designed to be in. A place that you would say resides in an energy that is beyond 4 dimensions. That is the energy of your soul. And that is where we go every single time. Every single week, you're invited to come and cross this bridge with me as we go there even now. Crossing the bridge, again, a metaphor for moving from the known to the unknown, comfortable for many, uncomfortable for many. It's interesting how you consider change, dear ones. Even those who say, I'm very, very ready to go through this, if you start understanding the reality that you are moving into, for some of you it is uncomfortable because things feel different, and they should. As we said in the channel a moment ago, you are starting to awaken pieces and parts of your own cellular structure. And when you start to do that, it's almost like they said, we've expected this, we've expected this. Here he is, here she is. And if they could celebrate, they would. And if they had a language and a voice, you'd hear it. But what you are doing is sending a signal, a big signal, to your entire structure that all of the multidimensional parts can start to come alive and do what they were designed for. And what they were designed for, you're going to love. You are so much more complete than you think. There is no medical doctor on this planet who has even an inkling of how complete you are. And that is not an indictment of medicine. It is just a statement that as best as they can do, they still cannot see past what they do not know. And so it is time to expose the unknown to you. So let's go there. You're presented again every time with a bridge. We start to ask you the questions about the bridge. Is it flat? Is there a superstructure? Is there more than one path on the bridge? Is there a coming and going, or is there just a coming? Or is it both ways with one path? These are the questions, are they not? Because every single answer to one of those questions tells a lot about you. How you think about the unknown, or how you think about this trip. If you have been here many times, perhaps you're becoming more comfortable. And in that, perhaps the bridge starts to morph in that which you visualize. And that says you're comfortable with it, or perhaps you anticipate it a little differently this time than the other times. You go across the chasm that the bridge is responsible for crossing. And again, I say, how wide is it? How long is the bridge? How deep is the chasm? Now, all of these things tell you how comfortable you are with moving into something that is so different. Questions I've had in the past, Kryon, why should we be afraid of our soul? Why should we be afraid of ourselves? Why should there be fear going through the mist? And some would say, I'm here for the first time. I've heard about this mist. I'll just go right through. And I'll say, really? So you've been there before? And the answer is no, you haven't. You think you have. Very few humans on this planet have been here before. This is something that is new. the ability to walk into another dimension that is you, a more complete you, and still feel that you are sitting in the chair in that dimension. And that's what you're doing now. Let's go together. As you start to cross this bridge, there are some things that you can see you perhaps have seen before, and there are some new things to see as well. There is that mist that we have talked about. Very thick it is. Have you noticed that the mist is not static? You thought it was. Perhaps you saw a wall of white. Instead, it's a swirl, is it not? Did you see that? Did you notice that? It's a moving mist. That means something. Perhaps we'll talk about that later. Everything starts to change. And you stand before the mist. Kryon, at what point should we take off our shoes? Now, we've taken off our shoes in several different places in the past through these meetings. And so that leads you to say, well, was there a reason? And the only reason I give you for taking them off at different places is so that you will not be aware to take them off or on. In other words, there are no rules, dear ones. You take them off when you feel the sacredness of the moment. And that's either before you walk into your temple or right now. Let's take them off now. By taking off your shoes and coming into the mist with me, you are acknowledging, you are moving into a part of your soul right now, belongs to you, that you really haven't seen before, not like this. It changes every time you go. Come closer. Your shoes are off. Let's walk into the mist. Is this real or not? As you walk through this mist and it evaporates before your eyes straight ahead of you, what do you see? I'll tell you this, you have no idea what a multidimensional world looks like, so it still looks like 4D or even 3D if you choose. In other words, you conceptualize only what you know. And since you have not really seen a multidimensional world, you have no idea what it should look like. And so in this reality of your consciousness, you are seeing things that mean other things to you. But the thing that ought to strike you right now is how different it feels. You are feeling different because you are in a magic place, dear ones. Magic is the word we use because that's what you relate to. Magic would be things that don't make sense, accomplishments that you shouldn't be able to accomplish. Magic is that which is above the natural, the supernatural. That is your soul. That is because in your soul, those places where you are right now contain all of the things that you'd wished for. What you've wished for in the past was a way to talk to that innate of yours directly, easily. To see the majesty of you and be able to use the control panel, if you wish, of your own cellular structure, of your body, of your chemistry. To make the changes that are needed. But first, I want you to look around. I want you to look around because you're about ready to go into that temple that keeps changing. Have you figured out the name on the door yet? It keeps changing. We've told you it's in light language, but you ought to be able to read light language. It says something specific. It's more than just your name. As we go through these programs, eventually I'll interpret some of the signs along the way, but right now this is the beginning of the series. What's the temple look like? Has it gotten bigger or smaller? How is the door shaped? Is it square? Is it oval? Is it heart-shaped? That should tell you something. How tall is it? It doesn't matter right now. This is yours, and you see it as you should see it. You see it as your consciousness wants you to see it, giving you signals about what might really be there. What really be there. walk through this door into yourself, into the circle of 12 energy, the soup of consciousness that is you. The fractals of all that is made up of the physics of consciousness, of spirituality, of the creative source itself. You are in a core place. Humans don't go here, dear ones. Some only pass through when they're experiencing near-death experiences, but you are here by design. You are here because it is safe and it's sweet. Can you feel the peace yet? Do you understand that you left everything behind on the other side of that mist? Some of you say, well, I would like to stay here for a while. Well, you can, and you should, perhaps. You'll always return to that 4D, dear ones. But these are the journeys into this unknown that you're taking as the magnificent person that you are. You see the amphitheater, the sunken amphitheater, the circle in the round with the seats all around it. You see that? What color are the seats? Never ask you that. How do you see them? How many are there? This again tells you, are you magnificent? Are you about to give a show to a stadium or for 14 or 12? It gives you a great impression of how you feel about yourself and what you're about to do. I want you to take yourself, if you choose, walk down the stairs and go to that stage, and there's a chair, one single light on the chair, and I want you to climb into it and sit there with me right now. Is this real or not? How do you feel? Take a cleansing breath for just a moment. How do you feel in this place that is you? Do you understand that you are in an alternate state of reality, one that exists, but one that is not in the plan of life that you were given when you were born? And now it's time for what you came for. I want you to sit there, because as you sit there, the seats start to be filled up. Again, today we're going to fill them with the pieces and the parts of your body that you're in charge of. Innate is there, listening intently to everything you're saying. You might say innate is an overview of all the cells. You might say innate sits in every chair with every cell. That is because innate is not one thing but many things. Innate is you as well. It is the control panel, as we said. And all of the cells of your body, all of the organs, all of the pieces, all of the parts are there in the chairs, all around you. Now, what have you got to say to them? Because that's why you came today, isn't it? What do you want to say to them? First of all, you'll notice they're very attentive. If you want to be academic, well, they've just gotten out some notepads to write on, every single one of them. Because you're about to give instructions and they're going to write them down. That's the metaphor. That's the reality of you in charge of your body. Are you getting this? That's the reality of you in charge of your body. What do you want to tell them? Dear cellular structure, listen up, because I have come as that which is the consciousness that is in charge of this body, of every cell, of every part and piece of DNA and RNA. My instructions for the day: strengthen the immune system, chase away this disease that some of you might say you have, or that you've been told you have, or that you've been diagnosed with. Be careful of your language. Do not dwell by telling your cells what you think is wrong, dear ones. Tell them what is correct. Dear cells, we are free of disease today, dear cells. We have a new kind of life force where we'll stop aging the way we have been. we're going to have more energy cells. I'll wait a moment while you write that down. And they're scribbling away, aren't they? And Nate is taking notes. Because when you come out of this, your cellular structure is going to know where you've been. Then you'll know it's real. I want you to pay attention right now, because you think this is an exercise or a meditation. When you come back to that which you call 4D, many of you are going to say, oh my, it was real. I can feel this. I know it's right. And some of you will even be able to go to the doctor and they'll say, how did you do it? Why don't you give me information? And you can tell them if you wish. I've discovered that I'm in charge of my own cellular structure, and that is the design. That's the design. Stay here with me. Stay here. What else do we want to tell them? What else? Dear cellular structure, I am in love with you, and I know you are in love with me. Together, we're going to change our entire life from this point on. I want you to sit there and listen to them scribble on their pads of paper. And just sit there as you know they're taking instructions in. And I want a big smile on your face, dear ones, and a joy. Feel the chills right now of having accomplished something that is really special and very new. Very new. Stay. 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 And so it is.
And Kaiser Writes, as in WRITES, author page. So it's been wonderful to be here with you. Thank you.
This is great. So we always do this, and that's so complete. I don't know what else.
Absolutely. I just love the getting into the vibration of love and joy. And I love that you're able to help people tune into that, because sometimes we do need a mentor or a coach that we can just sit with to give us a different perspective, to see something that we might not have otherwise seen or be steered to. And you are, I believe, also available for coaching people and doing sessions as well, and they can get that on your website.
You've watched some of these before, and Shannon, I love the fact that you turned this into a mini workshop, and then you've given these points. This is really, really valuable, very practical stuff. I love it.
I do too.
Great. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. It's been great to be here.
Right, great. And perhaps we'll see her again. You just don't know at this point in time.
Absolutely.
But this was just great. Okay, what's next?
Well, we're going to have a quick break before we come back and do the Circle of 12.
Great. We'll see you then.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We trust you had a good 10-minute break.
Do you ever wonder what they do in breaks?
I don't wonder what they do in breaks.
Especially, well, in a replay, they may not need a break, so they're just going to wind forward.
That's true.
So here we are saying, welcome back from the break. And so all of those of you who are watching a replay right now, you didn't have a break, so don't welcome back. What about that? Okay, that's a joke.
Welcome back to you.
No. So, all right, enough of this.
Enough of this.
All right.
We had a wonderful channel from Kryon that's kind of leading us into this circle of 12, wouldn't you think?
I agree.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm ready to go.
Okay. No more instructions from Kryon?
I think there's going to be, because there were last week.
Yes, there was.
And because we talked about it again this week.
We did. We did. So let's do this. Let's have a meditation and experience the circle of 12. So as we prepare for the circle of 12, let us begin by giving thanks to Mother Gaia. She is our original parent, and Mother Gaia gives us all we need. So thank you, Gaia, for being here. Thank you, Gaia, for loving us. And let us give honor and thanks to the Star Mothers. Thank you, Star Mothers, for being here. Thank you, Star Mothers, for loving us. The Star Mothers are our spiritual parents who came to Earth as part of a grand system to give us the spark of divinity and this piece of God that lives inside. It's the power of the God energy within the human being. You are part of the system of the Creator that is biased in love, and let us affirm our willingness to receive the unconditional love of the Creator. I am willing to accept the perfect love of the Creator. I am willing to accept the perfect love of the Creator. I am willing to accept the perfect love of the Creator. And let us now continue towards the circle of 12, and let us affirm that we give permission to connect with the God inside.